من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله ونشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. نريد الشريف هذا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. قال الله تعالى في القرآن المجيد والفرقان الحميد بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل يا عبادي الذين أسرفوا على أنفسهم لا تقنطوا من رحمة الله إن الله يغفر الذنوب جميعا إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. All praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has blessed us with another day, who has blessed us with another chance, another opportunity to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We are currently in the second 10 days of the month of Ramadan, and the second 10 days Wasallam has taught us that we should be seeking the forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's forgiveness is great, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's mercy is great, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the greatest. And a whole lifetime goes by, years go by, months and days, where insan forgets what his purpose is, what he is supposed to be doing, how he should be, how he should not be. All of these things happen and it goes on. Yet, throughout the whole time, Allah continues to give and give and give. And this is how much Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us. That no matter how much a person might even turn away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will still be there for that person. And when Allah blesses us with the month of Ramadan, it is an opportunity for us to get closer to Allah. It is an opportunity for us to reconnect with Allah and to create that bond. And this is where we have to make sure that we are utilizing the time that we have during this month in the best way. Even though half of the month is already gone, another half is still there, where we can change our life around, where we can do those things which will please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And a person, he will have in his mind or in his thoughts that it's hard. How can I do these things? I have made a lot of mistakes, I have got into a lot of trouble. All of these things which happen, it is a way for us to again reconnect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have that chance, we have that opportunity, and there is nothing greater than looking at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran about these things. And the ayah which I have chosen to read to you today is about the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُلْ يَا عِبَادِي. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions قُلْ يَا عِبَادِي, that say to the people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is commanding Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam that Ya ibadi, O my servant, O my beloved, O my slave who has done so much wrong, O my slave who has made mistakes, O my slave who needs my help. O my slave who needs something from me. قُلْ يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ. You may have wronged yourself. You have wronged yourself in the way that you went against the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you accepted and you admitted that you done something wrong. يَا عِبَادِيَ الَّذِينَ أَسْرَفُوا عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ لَا تَقْنَطُوا. That do not become despondent of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do not become despondent of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so great. That Allah mentions in the Hadith al-Qudsi that I do not care if my servant was to come to me and he has sins which are from the ground to the seventh sky. And everything that it contains within it, if you come with this much sins, still this will not be too much for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah says, you come with this many sins, I will still forgive you. And this is an opportunity that we have during these middle 10 days to seek the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives each and every sin, each and everything that we may have done, each and everything that we may have done wrong. Just because we have realized that we have done something wrong, just because we know that we have done something wrong, this is enough for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us. Innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most forgiving. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most merciful. It doesn't say Allah will show mercy and Allah will forgive. Allah will show the most mercy and Allah will show the most forgiveness. And this is what we have to look at, and this is what we have to pull ourselves towards. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala just wants to see us making a change in our life. The good habits that we take from this blessed month of Ramadan, that it doesn't stop at the day of Eid, that it continues, that every single day, alhamdulillah, we are now in a routine of opening up the Quran. We open up the Quran and we read 1 ayah, 2 ayahs, and we read 10 ayahs, however much a person is reading. To stay in that habit, we are making the habit of reciting the Quran. We are reading the Quran. We are conscious of making sure that we are praying our salah. This is another thing. That everybody is making that the effort to pray their salah. If I can just ask everybody to make sure to sit nicely and fill in the gaps. There's a lot of space around, so the brothers that are coming in, they can sit. There's space upstairs as well, those that are at the back. Overflow. Segment overflow. Go out there and direct them then. Huh? Go out there and direct them. I'll direct them. Go outside and tell them what. Let's go upstairs, brother. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us this month in which we are able to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and ask for forgiveness. And one of the biggest things that we need to do during this blessed month is to make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are so many times throughout the day in which Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has mentioned that when a person will make dua, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept the dua in their favor. Especially when a person is fasting. When a person is fasting, he is doing it only for the pleasure of Allah. He is staying away from food, he is staying away from drink, even though that he can very easily go and eat something, but he does it to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Allah mentions that when the time for iftar comes, whatever dua is made by that person, any dua that he makes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept it in his favor. But again, the question will come that I made the dua, but my dua was not accepted. I asked for a Ferrari. I didn't see it in the garage in the morning. Where is my Ferrari? I made it at the time of iftar. But again, the intention that we made, maybe a toy Ferrari will come in the post, something. But three things happen when a person makes dua. One, it is accepted on the spot. Right there and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant him that Ferrari. Secondly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take away a difficulty from him. So maybe his car breaking down, it was supposed to break down, but instead Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved him the cost of going to the mechanic and the breakdown and the recovery. All of these because he made that dua for the Ferrari. So his car got saved, the one that he has right now. And the last one, that Allah will grant him something even better in the akhirah, that he will get his flying horse in Jannah. And he'll say, what is a Ferrari? He will want a Ferrari then. So these are the things which can happen when a person makes dua. So every single time a person to never, to ask big from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well. That ask for the most that you can. Ask for the most that you can from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's treasures are great. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has so much. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants to give so much. So the more that we turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more we ask from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more we will get. If a person has a very small mindset that I only want a Nissan Micra from Allah. It's a very small one. I just want a small Nissan Micra, then you will only get a Micra. You ask for a Lamborghini, a Ferrari, and you will get that as well. So the more we ask and the more that we want from Allah, the better it will be. So when this month that we are in, at the time of opening the fast, we make dua for those things which are going to be of benefit to us. And the things which are going to be benefiting to us. Somebody stand out there and tell them to do it. There's no point in just making an announcement.
If you go right behind, go right round the building, there's plenty of space for both.
Yes.
Go through there.
We need to be better prepared. Yes. Somebody standing there, go that way. Instead of me making it in the mic, it's not going to make a difference because they're not even inside yet. So, anyways, where were we? We're still getting a Ferrari? Nissan Micra. To anyone who has a Nissan Micra, I apologize. It's a very lovely car. It does the job A to B. So yes, the point is to ask for the right things. Whether you have a Nissan Micra or whether you have a Ferrari, it still goes on the same road. It's still the same speed limit. Doesn't matter what car you have, you're still going to be going to the same places at the same time. So it is about making sure that we ask for the right things. And the right things are to ask for hidayah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That He keeps us on the straight path. That He grants us Jannatul Firdaus. That He saves us from the fire of hell. That He gives to make sure that everything that we do is done in a way where we are only gaining pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the most important thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us so much, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will continue to give as well. This is the other thing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us the more that we ask. Think of how much that we have today without even asking for it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed us. When we think of at the time of iftar, the food that we have in front of us, to be grateful for the food that we have, to be grateful for everything Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us. لَإِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِيدَنَّكُمْ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran, that the more that we are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give. And this is why we have to be grateful for the month of Ramadan as well. The month of Ramadan has come in order for us to gain reward and to gain closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And within this month, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless us with a night which is better than 1,000 months. خَيْرٌ مِّنْ أَلْفِ شَهْرٍ. And this month, this night is coming very close as well. And we have to prepare for that, to be ready for it. And the biggest thing about everything is following the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That the reason why we are here in the first place is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us whether we do what we want or whether we do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has asked us to do. There's a story mentioned at the time of one of the pious saints. So there was a king. There was a king and he had a very valuable piece of jewelry. It was a pearl. And it had a lot of value. So he brought the pearl out and he showed it to his congregation, to one of his ministers. And he said that what is the value of this pearl? He said it is so much I cannot even put a number on it. He says if I was to ask, if I was to break it into pieces, what would you do? He said, I would not let you do it. I would not let you break that pearl into pieces because it has so much value. So he goes, you have spoken very well. And he gave him a robe because of him being, he gave him a royal robe because he had this advice to give. So the king again, he asked another few people, that what do you think if I was to do this? He said, I would not let you break this pearl. I would not let you do it because it has so much value. So there's around 50 to 60 of his people that he had within his congregation who he asked the same question, and they all had the same answer. And all of them had been given a royal robe. So then there's this other servant that he had, this other worker he had, his name was Ayaz. And he came to him and he asked that, I have this very valuable piece of jewelry, this pearl. What would you do? Do you know how much value it is? He said, I have no idea how much value it is, but I'm sure it is so much. He said, if I was to give you the command to break this into pieces, would you do it? He said, yes, of course. And he broke it right there. He broke the pearl right there and it's shattered into pieces. So all the ministers and everyone, they were there. They all jumped up and they screamed, oh, what are you doing? Why have you broken it? There's so much value to that. Then he gave the answer, what is more valuable? Is it the value of my king, his word, or that of the piece of the jewelry? So then he says, of course, then everybody understood that the value of the king's word is something which is even more. That he listened to the command which his king had given him. So we are all in the same position as well. That we are in the position where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us with many, many, many different things. And instead of chasing after the dunya and doing whatever pleases us, we have to listen to what the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is. When a person listens to Allah and listens to the commands of Allah, this is where the true happiness and the true peace of the heart is felt. So the more we listen to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the more we will benefit in our own way. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is testing us with. And this is why we get tested during the month of Ramadan. And this is why we have these opportunities throughout the rest of the year to build that connection and that relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the more that we turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the more that we try, it is only going to benefit us. The box is coming around for the masjid, the collections, the donations. As you all know, that the donations are what helps the masjid to run. The masjid is run by the community. Whatever you can give, we ask you give it. And it is a way that, especially during the month of Ramadan as well, everything is multiplied by 70, whatever you can give. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give barakah to everybody's wealth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make everybody's situation easy. Also today we have Maulana Azhar Patel, who every year he comes from India and he collects for the madrasa that we had over there. So he'll be collecting outside as well today. So whatever anyone is able to give, they should try and give. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also make it easy for the people and the Muslims around the world who are suffering, especially in Palestine. There's a lot of trouble and difficulty going on around right now. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ease their situation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them victory. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all the tawfiq and the ability to act upon everything that has been said. Ameen wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. If everybody can just make sure that when, just stand close enough together and you can stand and finish prayers on us.